Racing on Tuesday takes place after the Vaal. 8 races on the program. Race number 1 gets underway at 12:35. Barpot begins here, and it is a maiden plate over 1,400 meters. Joining me on the line is Alistair Cohn. And Alistair, how's everything going on your end?
Yeah, everything is going good. Thanks, Raheel. Obviously very disappointed with some football results on Sunday, especially the Aston Villa results. But we'll carry on. Racing's been good. I enjoyed what I saw over the weekend from both Cape Town and from Joburg, considering it's just a little drop in the ocean compared to what we're likely to see for the next few months. So yeah, really good at the moment, and hopefully we can continue that momentum through this weekend and through this week. With not a bad little card at the Vaal on Tuesday, I don't think. A few horses that jump off the page, a few races where you might need to put your thinking caps on. But yeah, I quite like it. 8 races on the go. Of course, we race Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, nothing on Thursday. So maybe those Joburg enthusiasts can take advantage of what's to come.
First race on the program, favourite here is number 2, Gonna Catch You, trading at 11-10. Number 5, Never Neverland at 22-10. My Lucky Charm at 33-10. Amandla Ngowetu at 6-1. Alistair, this was Gonna Catch You, a full brother to Greatrix, who's also trained by Mike and Matthew de Kock, and he's a horse that has done it really well in his career thus far, and a horse that I think we've got to keep an eye on. He hasn't run for a while, but this horse at 11-10, he could certainly shorten as we get closer to race time, given that Mike and Matthew de Kock, they can get them ready on debut. And when you have a look at the balance here, this horse, My Lucky Charm, ran on Saturday, so when running second, highly unlikely to take his place, you'd say?
Yeah, that wouldn't be the de Kock style to back them up just 72 hours later. At the time of recording, My Lucky Charm is a runner, but I highly doubt he will run, because on that run that he put up on Saturday, he probably smacks of a horse that's just ready to win. So 3 days later, unlikely, but can't scratch him now. It's not our job to scratch him. Look, I think when you put a few things together, the fact that the de Kocks went out to get the son of Verse and Getrix, Craig Zaki obliged to ride for Kaya Stables, the money and the support and the talk is there. I haven't heard anything. I'm obviously out of town for a while, but it sounds like number 2, Gonna Catch You, has got everything in the right place, and a good debut is probably expected for this first time by Verse and Getrix. Of the race runners, the only horse that makes any appeal, when I say any appeal, number 1, Amandla Ngowetu, was overdue and probably got some hints of form that's ready to win. But number 5, Never Neverland, ran a lovely race on debut, went second behind Warm Reception. Very taking winner from Warm Reception on that occasion. Never Neverland should appreciate the step up in distance being by Ideal World, and we know the pedigree ways not to ready them up first time. If Gonna Catch You's got decent ability, doesn't have to be a world champion, but decent ability, he will probably be the one that ends up winning the race. But Never Neverland should step forward from the run and might give him something to think about. They're the only 2 horses that I want to know about. The Barpot is my suggested bet. I've gone in with both, but just judging by the tea leaves, I think that there's a good chance that we'll double up in the first leg of the Barpot with 2 and 5. But if there's a follow through in the market for number 2, Gonna Catch You, and the de Kock comments do speak volumes, then that is likely to be the right one.
Race number 2, next up, start off the place accumulator. 1 is the off time. 1,400 meters is the distance. It's an MR70 handicap. Joint favourites here, Paris Fun, number 3, and number 2, Sunshine Day, both at 2-1. Number 6, Commander of All at 3-1. Prize Platinum 11-2 with Lebeccio, and then 1 and 7 are both at 33-1 in the market. Alistair, this horse, Sunshine Day, ran a cracker last time out, went second behind Valentina Balducci, and I think that she's going to take some beating in this lineup.
Sheldon and I spoke about this filly last time, Raheel, and we both made her an interesting proposition at 25-1. I was a little bit apprehensive just because of the draws. Look at the draws she's had in her last 4 starts. She's had no form with draws. This time, at least, she's got something that she can work with. Not perfect, 7 out of 7, but something at least she can work with. Her rating has come down from a once high of 90. She was a good filly as a youngster, was Sunshine Day. She probably got handled by the handicapper off that mark, but surely off a 69 she's got to be good enough. And it certainly looked like off that low 70, high 60 mark that her winner's just around the corner. 1,400 meters, that seems to be a happy place, and I think that she has her best opportunity in 642 days to taste success. That'll probably be the key for, that'll probably be the case rather for her as her career goes on until she wins. But I think that she's probably in the right place to give her best effort in quite a while. If she doesn't, my idea of the biggest dangers, number 6, Commander of Vaal, with draw 153 kilos, some good hard-knocking form to some reasonable hard knockers at this level. That's all you need, because you're just taking on those hard knockers at MR70 level. Commander of Vaal seems to be in the right type of form and the right time of frame of mind to be able to give a good run, a good account of himself. Brett Weber, of course, got both these horses, Commander of Vaal and Sunshine Day, so I think he'll be expecting a pretty good performance here. As far as the jockey arrangements are concerned, of course, Jason Gates is retained by the owner, Martin Botma, so he'd be obliged to step on board number 6, Commander of Vaal, and Keratsila Kachedi done nothing wrong on Sunshine Day last time, so perhaps don't read anything into it. The long and short of it, I think Brett Weber will win the race. With which one, I'd lean towards 2 over 6, but I do think they're the 2 horses that will fight it out. Number 3, Paris Fun, as you mentioned, is towards the top of the board. Beat Madame Pompadour last time and a Work Riders maiden, and that is a very, very average form. Madame Pompadour is still a maiden and doesn't look like winning anytime soon. Paris Fun can only improve. She's lightly raced, she's low mileage, she could have a little bit more to come, but she'll need to, not that she needs to prove herself at this type of level, it's a very lowly level, but it's still a step up in class from an average 61 to an average 66 now, so it's gonna be a big ask for her. She might be up to it, but I just prefer the Weber horses on this occasion.
Moving on to race number 3, which will be the start of the pick 6, 13:45 the off time, 1400 meters the trip, and it's an MR 86 handicap. Number 7, Soho Heartthrob, is your favorite here at 18-10. It is 28-10 open highway, 5-1 about Master Christmas. Sutherland coming in hot, 6-1 fully loaded, and then number 6, Union Rose, is at 33-1 in the market. Alistair, I quite like the look of number 1, Master Christmas, on the back of his latest effort, which was in a far stronger race, an MR 100 handicap behind Obsidian. He gets 4 kgs off the back. He's also dropped in the ratings, and this young rider seems to be riding quite nicely. And then you've obviously got number 7, Soho Heartthrob, who ran a blinder last time out behind Jan van Gooyen.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting race. I think it's probably race of the day. The Sparta not being easy, but it's hard for all the right reasons, this Raheel. I've got numbers 3, 5, and 7 in my bar pot. But if you insisted that we included numbers 1 or 2, I wouldn't be against having a good look at them. I mean, as you mentioned, Garishamo Bertia with 3 winners just the other day at the Vaal has really and truly found his stride as an apprentice. That 4-kilo claim on this type of trend that he's on won't last long. I know he had a fall on Saturday, but I believe that he pulled up all right. Master Christmas, first run for the yard was his last start when finishing 4th behind Obsidian. As you mentioned, at a much higher level than this, plummets in class, gets the help of the 4-kilo claim. He's alive. I definitely have him in my pick 6, number 1, Master Christmas, but I just have 3 others ahead of him in my pecking order. In order of preference, I'm going with number 7, Soho Heartthrob here, Raheel. Craig Zaki down to 54.5 to take the ride. This horse can't be bad. 2.25 lengths behind Jan van Gooyen. In that race, of course, was Shadowfax, who ran a lovely race on Gold Cup Day, and I think that's one of the 3-year-olds to follow on the half. I think there's a nice cross-section of 3-year-old colts. I don't know if there's a real standout. Jan van Gooyen probably the one with a target on his back at the moment, but I think that we'll learn a lot as the season goes on. I think that there's a wide variety of good 3-year-old colts, is the point I'm trying to make. So Heartthrob can't be too far away of that type of level. Nice horse, and this is a seasonal debut as he gets warmed up for races to come at his home course. So big chance, number 7, Soho Heartthrob. Number 3, Open Highway, done me a few favours and have given me a few headaches along the way. Gavin Larena takes the ride on the son of Vaal. I do believe 1,400 metres, this is happy place distance-wise. His last start was full of merit when second behind Ombudsman. Just got going a stride too late. His penultimate start, he beat Press On Regardless, who's won twice since that day, so he brings the right credentials to be a horse that we can rely on to run a good race. And then number 5, Sutherland. I don't think this horse is all that bad. He's a half-brother, obviously, to Thunderstruck, and then Night Rain, who, of course, won over the weekend. Pilasande Mpoli takes her out for Stuart Pettigrew. Fitness to be taken on trust for number 5, Sutherland, but I do think that he'll wind his way back to some sort of form. If you can run a length to Confederate over 1,400 metres, you've got to have a chance in a race of this nature. So they're the 3 horses that are going to work around in a wide open and very interesting contest, the first leg of the pick 6.
3, 5, and 7 in race number 3 for Alistair. Race number 4 next up, and this contest is set to be run over 1,600 meters, 20 past 2 the off time. Fillies and Mares 64 handicap. start of jackpot number 1. Number 2, Matsuyazo, 28 to 10 into 5 to 2, and the same can be said about number 5, Sheets and Goggles. It is Western Wishes at 3 to 1, Golden Aspen at 4 to 1 with Can't Catch Me, and then numbers 4 and 7 are double figure odds. Alistair, race number 4, what's your thinking here?
I'm all in here on a horse. Number 5, Sheets and Goggles, might be a brave stance with a one-time winner from 17 starts, rated 61. There's Gavin Lorena's, I think, second meeting of the season and his first meeting back after a 2-week break. He'll be hungry to do a bit of catch-up. But with that said, I've been keeping an eye on this filly for quite a while, Raheel. At her penultimate start, I did not like her over 1200, but I thought that she'd do her best weight late. She was back a week later when, again, she made up good ground in the closing stages when finishing 5th behind Can't Catch Me. Had that race been an extra 150 metres, which she faces today, and now against her own stakes and on the back of another £2 reduction, I think Sheets and Goggles goes very close last time. So just the fact that she's been on my radar for a while, I know that her overall form could be a little bit better. Probably you'd like to see a bit better before you bank her horse of this nature. But I just like enough of what I saw last time out. Fani Broncos, for me, probably the trainer of August around the country for that matter. He had a wonderful start to the season. He generally does. He does come out the blocks firing, does good old Fani. And I think that this could be another good performance from his yard. First time Gavin steps aboard the store to give me the green light, and typical Gavin, he would have had some options. Not that I think that Matsuyazo would have been, or David Nevenhazen would have been in a rush to take off Craig Zaki. They've done some good things over the last few weeks, but still knowing Gavin, he would have probably had a few trainers tap him up and see if he was available. So 5 Sheets and Goggles is my top choice. If Matsuyazo did win and Sheets and Goggles ran second, obviously the bar pot's still alive, and I wouldn't be overly surprised. It was a good sort of start to finish win last time from Matsuyazo, and she just kept on plugging away. That yard's also in good form at the moment. I think it'll take a bit from her to carry 61 kilos in her handicap debut and give some weight away, although she's the least exposed. I still don't think she's going to the tops. She's the least exposed in this race, so she might have a little bit more to come than anyone else in this race. So, like I said, wouldn't surprise me if she rocked up and did the job, but my top choice, fully entrenched with number 5, Sheets and Goggles.
Yeah, that is Sheets and Goggles at 5 to 2 in the market. Moving along to race number 5 next up. It's an MR78 handicap over the 1800 meter trip. 14:55 is the off time. Favorite here, number 3, Unsolved Riddle, and number 4, Future Wolf at 3 to 1. Zip code number 1 is a 4 to 1. Shot 7, War Reporter at 9 to 2. Santiago's Pride 6 to 1. Strewn Sky 7 to 1. Chabal 8 to 1. And Robert Brown and at 33 to 1 in the market. Alistair, this was a Strewn Sky, similar to Master Christmas in the third race. He ran in that same race, which was far stronger than what he does meet here. It's a significant drop in class on his recent form, and on the back of his last 2 efforts where he's been doing his best work at the finish, it's a significant jockey booking as well. There could be plenty of value on offer at 7 to 1.
Not impossible, Raheel. This horse's third to Argo Alley on the 26th of July was an incredible performance. I know he had no weight on his back, but coming up from PE, where he didn't show too much. He was with the Hanyanta Van Furen before. Again, he didn't show too much. I know he won a race, obviously, but he didn't look like he was that type of level. All of a sudden, first run for Kobus, he dropped up fresh and runs probably his career best when finishing third behind Argo Alley. 2 runs subsequently, a little bit, they could have been a bit better, should have been a little bit better, I suppose. He ran well above his rating on the 26th of July, and he's not done so in his 2 runs since. But Muzi and his booking's got to count for something here. So yes, he is a live chance. For me, this is definitely the weakest that he's been in Joburg, full stop. Never mind those runs in PE, but in Joburg, yes. So number 2, Strewn Sky, pick 6 inclusion. I considered him, but I do have 3 horses in my bar pot that I've included ahead of number 2, Strewn Sky. But yeah, keep safe of him. Interesting race, this, Raheel. Number 1, Zip Code, is my top choice. Again, Nevenhazen and Zaki teaming up here. A good run last time behind Pioneer Square. He was simply above the handicap. But ignore the fact that it looked like he was punted from 16 to 1 to 5 to 1. There was an important scratching in that race. But still, Zip Code finished in front of horses that were rated in the hundreds on that occasion. From that graduation plate, it was a good effort. And if he can back that up and be in the same mood and the same form, there's no reason why he's not a winning chance. I think he represents a bit of value, to be honest, at 4 to 1. one, because he too is down in class. If you consider the fact that he was running in Grade 1 races as a 3-year-old, no right to be there, but still the fact is that he was tested at that type of level and deemed good enough to be in that type of class. Number 3, Unsolved Riddle, model of consistency. Again, Gavin Larena on board for Grant Maroon. This horse has done very little wrong since coming to the half vault. One very bad run on the radar, but other than that, done some good things, earned a check every single time, gone close more often than not. So number 3, Unsolved Riddle, hard to knock him. And then number 4, Future Wolf, on the back of a good win last time when beating Guy Alexander, who came out and ran a decent race in a long distance race about a week earlier. Raymond Danielson's also come out the blocks firing. His percentage is really high, thanks mainly to the likes of Future Wolf, and he's also a horse that has a winning chance. 1, 3, and 4, the 4 horses that I'm working around in the pick 6, I definitely have numbers 2 and 7 and my players back up as well.
Moving along to race number 6, half past 3 is the off time. It's an MR 75 handicap over 2,400 meters. And here the favorite is number 2, Demover at 16 to 10, Romeo's Magic at 5 to 2, Royal Mazarin 4 to 1, Nuclear Force 9 to 2. It is then double figure odds about the balance. Alistair, that Inflame form line is seen to the 4 here, where Demover got the better of Romeo's Magic, Royal Mazarin and Arlington Action, and strictly on that run she should have them beat once again. And when you have a look at the balance, I think she seems a clear-cut top choice here at 16 to 10.
Banker Raheel. Banker everywhere. Number 2, Demover, hard horse to beat for me. The 3rd horse, Moment, came out and won. I know that Moment carried a light weight a couple of weeks ago when winning, but the point is he beat horses who had performed well at feature race level. Demover finished in front of Moment, although there was very little stew between them in the run behind Inflame. As you rightly mentioned, Demover finished in front of 3 horses who she faces again: Romeo's Magic, Royal Mazarin, Arlington Action. The weights tell you the result won't turn around. Finished 3 lengths ahead of her nearest rival at Serpentine on the 2nd of August. Craig Zaki takes her out for Joey Soma, another combination that is firing at a double not so long ago at the Vaal. Hard horse to meet for me, Raheel. In fact, I remember chatting to Joey Soma in the parade ring before Inflame won, and he looks at the betting boards. He said, goodness me, your horse is very short on the market. I quite fancy number 2, Demove, and afterwards he was full of compliments for what Inflame got up to, because he had Demove in good shape last time out. So master trainer, especially over the long distance. Hard horse to beat, number 2, Demover. That's my absolute play of the day. Banker everywhere, final leg of the bipod, and in the pick 6, everywhere you look, I think that she's got the field held.
Race number 7 next up. It's an MR 66 handicap. 2,000 meters is the trip. 5 past 4 is the off time, and here your favorite is number 1, Step Into It at 18 to 10, Stop the Traffic at 9 to 2, Bobley Swagger at 7 to 1, The Merciful at 7 to 1. It's then 10 to 1 and better bar those. Alistair, I know that it's not a great race. It's at the 66 level, but this horse, Step Into It, he's just a newly turned 3-year-old, and he's got a big weight of 60.5 kgs on the back, having to concede weight to every single rival over 2,000 meters. I'm not sure what to make of the race.
And from draw 11 out of 11, Raheel, look, absolute puppy is number 1, Step Into It. I know the owners quite well. Rurik Goebel's a well-to-do man up north of South Africa, that is. Dave McLean obviously know quite well, and Wayne Jackson, one of the golfing buddies. And the expectations were this is going to develop into a nice stay, going to need a couple of runs. And watching him closely last time when beating Olympian Gold, still an absolute puppy. All at sea, didn't have much clue about it, but was still able to run the finish out of everyone and take it out. Can he do this now against older opposition over this trip from this distance, being a newly turned 3-year-old? Those are all the questions he's got to answer. He's not a horse you can leave out. Cannot sit here and say he can't win, because he could be anything, and I put that in inverted commas, but it is a very, very hard ask. If he were to win and you left him out, you'd kick yourself and say, how on earth did I not include him against this opposition, this quality of opposition or lack thereof? And if he didn't win, you would still not deduct any points off him, just because of the fact that he's got a lot more to come. So very interesting horse going forward, number 1, Step Into It, and the Cox are not messing around, going straight from a maiden to 2,000 meters, which is a clear signal of intent of where they think this horse is headed. Interesting, Rahil. I mean, looking down through it, what on earth is Samanga Kamalo doing riding for Corne Spies, number 11, Circle of Grace? I'm not sure they even know each other. And Samanga down to 54.5 kilos to take the ride. Rating come down another pound for not a bad run at Hollywoodbets Scottsville behind Connoisseur last time. Trying 2,000 meters again, a distance that he's done okay over, but not ripped up any trees. I just think, again, the jockey arrangement tells you that something's expected there with number 11, Circle of Grace. Could you have the rent money on it? Absolutely no, but you can't have the rent money on any of these horses. If you push me for a top selection here, it would be number 10, the Merciful. Cabello on board for Tyrone, Zaki Tyrone with a double at the Vaal on Saturday, so the yard's in good form. Just because I think third run after a rest, fair starts back from a break, got some reasonable runs to his name like everyone else in this race. The Full Go would be a horse that I'd consider, but got a £6 penalty for being well beaten last time. I mean, that's just the price that you pay for running in crazy races. So I think that he's on the back foot for a while now. Crepusculo's just not done me any favours for a while. I've liked him a few times, especially in his penultimate start, where he ran a reasonable fourth behind Kiss of Fire, but never looked like winning. So in order of preference here, Rahil, I'll go 10, 11 and 1. But if you threw any name at me, and if there are any punters who want to throw a few more into the mix, cannot put you off. Number 2, Stop the Traffic, also got to be a live chance. Don't leave him out.
Yeah, I'll throw number 9 into the play. I had Furious. I remember his last start. I just thought a bit too far over the final stages of the race. He was travelling very, very nicely with about 400 to go, and he just sort of peaked on his run. And I thought 4.5 lengths beaten last time out, back down in trip. I think at 12 to 1 could be a roughie to include into the play as well. Moving on to race number 8, next up, final race on the program, 2,000 meters a trip. It is a middle stakes, 16:40 is the off time, and number 4, Mount Darwin, as well as the 1 and 2. So joint favourites here, all at 7 to 2, 1, 2 and 4. Number 9, Teo Toriate at 4 to 1, a horse that has hit us strapped in a big way. It's 7 to 1 Eiger Sanction, 8 to 1 Silent War, it's then 12 to 1 and better ball those. This horse, Mount Darwin, he ran a cracker last time out, went second to Obsidian. We see that form line to the 4 early on in the day, and he's a type of horse with that run under the belt. The yard of Stuart Pettigrew is coming back to form slowly, and from gate number 4 he should get a nice run in transit. And the way he runs, Alistair, there's no doubt that 2,000 meters is the right type of distance for him. And then you've got this horse Hawkbill, who knows what goes on in his head, but he's very capable on his day.
Yeah, Hawkbill's a bit batty, isn't he? But he's got King's Express hold on the run on the 23rd of June. I'll get to King's Express and Hawkbill in just a moment. I'm looking down towards the bottom of the weights here, Rahil, for the angle of this race. But let's talk about number 4, Mount Darwin. Definite winning chance. I think he's under-delivered. I think he's flattered to deceive a little bit through his career, unfortunately, the son of Ideal Will. But you spot on the way that he runs. He hits the line with so much in hand. He's always a next-time merchant, is number 4, Mount Darwin. And again, after his last start, second behind Obsidian, the way that he stayed on, hit the line, you'd just think, right, next time this horse is going to be cherry ripe. It is his third run after a break, so he ought to be cherry ripe. Showed good, sufficient progress from the first run to the second start back from a break. Even his anti-penultimate start, where he ran second behind Kamensky, I think that's a high-quality horse. Kamensky, again, seen to good effects in the spring spree over the weekend when a fast finishing second behind Quantum Theory. I think that he's got some wins to come, Kamensky, through the season, and he'll be very interesting, certainly in the next feature race day, that being the Betway Joburg Spring Challenge. So number 4, Mount Darwin's got the credentials, the form lines, and a lot going for him to be a chance. But will he finally get across the line? That's the big question. But I'm just a little rough around the edges with him. Number 9, Territoriato, you're right. How this horse has come alive, I don't know. She looked bang average. In fact, at the start of the year, never mind a year ago, the start of the year, she looked bang average. She's racked up 6 wins from 32 starts. And every time you think the handicap has caught up to her, she just defies that and somehow keeps on going. I mean, if you had told me that she'd be a merit-rated 90 at the start of September, at the start of July, just within 3 months, I would have thought that's absolutely impossible. But here we are, and I'm giving her a winning chance, number 9, Toriata. I think number 10, Eiger Sanction's also a live chance here, Rahil. I like the way St. John's horses are running at the moment. The lightweight's going to make him a huge chance, getting weight from the entire field, put him into the play. I know that he's sort of wobbling at the level that he's in at the moment, wobbling not perhaps being the right word, but just sort of not putting it in and not not looking like that win's just around the corner, but maybe St. John stumbled upon the right race here. Then number 10, Iger Sanction, is going to be the most competitive he can. And then we got numbers 1 and 2. King's Express, I believe, perfect 1,800-meter horse. I think anything shorter, he just doesn't get going in time, and anything further, he runs out of puff. Plus, he's held by number 2, Hawkbull. So I think that particular race between King's Express and Hawkbull will go the way of number 2, Hawkbull, despite the fact that he's got rocks in his head and loves the experience of going racing, because he could do absolutely anything on race day. Craig Zaki knows him well, and we'll let him do whatever he needs to do. But if he decides to turn it on, he can mow them all down and make them look ordinary. So very interesting race indeed to round off Raheel. Top trace here is number 4, Mount Darwin, but I'm not prepared to have a big bet on him. I think the bottom weights are going to make him sweat a little bit, and then number 2, Hawkbull, also a live chance, just because he always is.
Yeah, a few horses in with winning chances in race number 8. Moving on to the suggested bet for racing on Tuesday out at the Vaal. Alistair will take us through suggested bet, and it is an 8-race program. Alistair, take it away with the bipod.
Bipod gets underway at 12:35 at the Vaal on Tuesday. So first leg, got numbers 2 and 5, Going to Catch You and Never Neverland. By the Brett Weber pair, 2, Sunshine Day, and 6, Commander of All. By 3, 5, and 7, Open Highway, Sutherland, and Soho Heartthrob. By Bank of 5, Sheets and Goggles. I think that's a 2-horse race. 2 and 5, the only 2 that I'm interested in there. But gone with Bank of 5 and my bipod. Then 1, 3, and 4, Zip Code, Unsolved Riddle, and Future Wolf. And finally, Banker number 2, Demover. For me, the player of the day. Hopefully, she can get the job done.
That is the bipod for racing on Tuesday out at the Vaal. Alistair, thanks very much. Have a wonderful week ahead.
Thanks, Raheel. Same to you. Same to all race goers, all racing fans out there. Hope it's a good one ahead, and may there be lots of winners and lots of good stories to come out of it on the other side.
All the best with racing on Tuesday.